Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Bree from BriannaLints.com, and today I thought it would be fun to share everything I crocheted in May, which, was a good amount. I think I did a lot of little things, not so many big things, and then really for the last week and a half I haven't been crocheting. I kind of was like, I need a little bit of a break, and so I did a lot of cross stitching, and then we've been doing a lot of actual fishing. But I am happy with what I did make. I did a lot of different things. I have quite a variety. And so most of what you saw in my What Am I Crocheting video, I have completed. There's only one pattern of all of the things that I listed in the What Am I Crocheting video a couple weeks ago that I haven't finished. So I'm quite happy with everything that I got done. So I thought, let's go ahead and just jump right in and let's go from oldest to newest. So the oldest thing that I have completed is the square neck ribbed crop top by forthefrills.com. Everything will be listed down below too. This is the For the Frills. I have a video review on my channel as well. And this is it. This is using one skein of cotton yarn by the Yarn Bee. It's not this type. Ooh, there it goes. It's not this kind. It's like in the sugar wheel. For more information on how what yarn and everything that I use, you can go ahead and watch the video. It's how I crocheted this crop top for $1.87. And that's all I spent on it. So yes, here it is. This is the first crop top I made. So I wasn't really sure when I was making it how long I would need it or anything like that. And I would definitely make adjustments to fit my size better in the future. Because at this point, it's pretty short. And I don't normally like put my belly button out on the internet, but at the same time, it was kind of like, do I have the guts to do it? And I did it and it was fun. So yeah, it fits pretty good. The only thing that I wish is two things. I wish that I had made this about 2 inches longer, so then it would just kind of peekaboo right off the top of my pants, like right off the top of my jeans or shorts. Yeah, I wish I just extended it 2 inches longer because I do have an extremely long torso. And then if you do make this pattern, just keep in mind that now that I've worn it a few times around my house, your straps do stretch out quite a bit. So if you feel like they're going to be too short, just don't do anything. And I didn't modify it. I did, I think, the length of the medium just because I was afraid that it wouldn't fit, but I shouldn't have. These do stretch out quite a bit, especially when the weight of all of this yarn is going to stretch it out, and then it's the pulling it on and off is going to stretch out the straps too. But this is absolutely a super cheap, and like not cheap in a bad way, like a very cost-effective way to make your own clothes. This is absolutely a beginner-friendly project. All you need to know how to do is chain, half double crochet, and single crochet. And in her pattern, she does do a finishing edge on it, and I chose not to, which I'm glad that I didn't. So yeah, here is my first finish. And so I usually pair this with a super easy jean skirt like this. And I actually got this from a consignment shop, I think for $2.99. So I actually have this whole outfit for $5. And then I'll wear sandals that I got from consignment shop too. And so with the sandals included, it's probably like $7. Pretty cool. So I'm happy with that. I like this crop top. I really would like to do it again. And again, just extend it by the 2 inches. And I think I'll be really happy with it. But there's so many crop tops out there. I'm not sure if I want to recreate this one or just know going off this how long I need to do my next crop top using a new pattern. That way I can review it for you. But I do recommend that pattern very much. Very easy, very beginner friendly, very modern, super fun. So that was the first thing I did, the square neck ribbed crop top by For the Frills. The next thing that I finished is another, I have this, what am I trying to say? I have this as a video on my channel too. It's a pattern review. This is the Kids Basic Tee, a free crochet pattern by hookedonhomemadehappiness.com. And this is using acrylic yarn, 2 skeins of the Brava worsted acrylic, and this is in the speckled, what was it? It was like cherry or rose. Again, I have all the details for this, the yarn that I'm using, everything in that video, that I will also have linked down below. And it kind of has a little bit of a bubble right here, but yeah, so I made this. I made this in a weekend. I just did this like off and on in our downtime. So it took me 3 days of just off and on stitching. It's very easy, another super beginner friendly. All you need to know how to do for this is chain, single crochet, and the double crochet. And you do raglan sleeves, and then it's all just simple double crochet all the way down. I recommend this for a beginner to try out making a garment. If you want to make something small, this would be a great just thing to gift your kids, your nieces, whatever. To an experienced crocheter or somebody like that, I would not recommend this pattern. I would say go for something a little bit more. But I'm happy to have this finished. I'm happy to have, again, made another clothing item for my family. And this is something that she can wear if she wants to. It's easy and it's acrylic, so it's washable. I like the colors. I'm happy to have used something from my stash, and I'm happy to have, you know, done another pattern review for you. But I think for raglans, and I don't think I said this in my video, but for raglans, I really, especially for kids, I like it when you can do the neckline with a button closure, because then if the neckline is too big, because I think necklines are so different for each kid, one, you can get it over their head, but their necks are still so small that you can make the back a little bit tighter if you need it to. A lot of the patterns out there are this type of neckline, so I'd like to try more raglan tee patterns to see if there's a better neckline idea out there versus having to use the button closure, or if maybe the button closure is a great solution. Because you see that a lot in baby dresses, where they'll have the raglan style tee and then you have the button closure, but you don't really see that for kids' t-shirt patterns. And I don't know if that's just because there isn't a huge need or want for people to crochet kids' tops. It seems like it's either like baby clothes or, you know, young women or men tops, and kids' clothes just aren't really something that many people, I guess, desire to make. I do, because I have a 6-year-old and a 10-year-old. So yes, the kids basic tee A3 crochet pattern by Hooked on Handmade Happiness, another finish. So that's 2 so far. The next thing I did is I decided to go on and try pattern testing for the first time, and I'm so happy I did. I did 2 projects within the same week. The first one that I completed is this. What is this called? This is it's a lemon pattern by Rosie's Goodies Shop 6 on IG. This pattern is now for sale in her Etsy shop. So yeah, this was super cute. This was actually the first time that I used this soft Snuggle yarn, and I got everything that I got for these. I got from Hobby Lobby. I love Hobby Lobby, and I have one local to me, so it's easy to just go when they have their 30% off sale, which is what I did. And so I crocheted hers using the pattern. I used lemon, I used light yellow, and I used green. I have the yarn right here. And I used, I think, 12mm size eyes. And then for the mouth, I tried embroidering the mouth, and it was not going well. So I was like, you know what? Why don't I just get felt? And so I got felt and hot glued it, and it's like that thick felt. I'm going to be, I had the felt because I have a, what is it called? An Eevee Pokemon that I'm making. It's just been sitting there. Like, I need to just finish it. And so I had this felt on hand, and I really like it. I think it's super cute. My daughter loves it. And so, yeah, super, super duper cute. Love it. And my daughter just loves it. She's going to be happy that I have made a video about it, because now she can play with it. I have a rule, like, if I have to make a video, you can't have it until I've made a video. And the yarn that I'm using is, if you saw my What Am I Crocheting video, you've already seen this, but it's this super soft yarn from Hobby Lobby. And one is definitely a smaller weight than the other one, but it worked out fine. It is so soft. So now that I have this, I'm like, what else can I make with this? So this is the Baby Bee Adorable in Bumble Wings. It's a really pretty pastel yellow. And then the green is a Velvety Smooth Aran Spa. So I'm happy to be kind of amassing these different colors in this velvet yarn, because now if I see a certain project, I can just kind of go in my stash and do that. So yes, that was quick. I made that in less than 2 hours. It was so fast. I can see why these are so popular, especially for craft fairs, because you really can make these so quickly and they're so adorable. Like I never really understood the hype. I was like, okay. And now I'm like, oh, I get it. I am hook, line, and sinker. You'll see I'm hook, line, and sinker. Now the next item that I made was also a pattern test, and this was, I saw it and I applied for it and I was like, this is from my daughter. This is the Liesel Book Bag by Valkyrie Creates on Instagram. And she is based out of the UK and she used US terms. Her pattern is supposed to be coming out June 5th. It is called the Liesel Book Bag. I believe named after Liesel from A Book Thief, the book. And I used Hobby Lobby's, I love this cotton in warm blush and parchment. So I just needed 1 and 1. And so for less than probably less than $5 using the Hobby Lobby sale, you can make this. And then the button, I bought the button. This was probably the most expensive thing because I have both of these things in my stash, but Fiona wanted a pretty wooden button. So we went and bought a button for $1.99. But again, if I had waited, I could have gotten the button for 99 cents. And so it's this really pretty bag. You open it, it has this open closure, and then you have your book inside. And she's using it for her warrior cats. In my video, I have it as a YouTube short and I have a reel on my Instagram, at Brianna Lentz on Instagram, and I paired it with one of my Mrs. Dalloway books by Virginia Woolf because I thought that it matched really well. Now for hers, my gauge is usually bigger and something loose like this with the half double crochet. I think she's going to be having this as a free pattern, but she might be charging. I'm not sure. I just know that the pattern comes out June 5th. For me, I had actually done it all the way down here. I had to rip out about 6 rows and just finish it off up here, so that way the flap wasn't so big because my gauge was really, really big compared to hers, but that's not abnormal. I have a pretty loose gauge when I'm doing half double crochet, and I usually have to go down about a hook or 2 anyway, but I was just following her pattern, and then I would make modifications after her pattern. Thought that'd be the best way to test. So yes, I'm very happy. It has this small rectangular box bottom. It has this detail around, and it's just super simple. This would be something really fun and easy to gift or make a bunch to sell at a craft fair, or also to give as gifts for Christmas. I think everybody should be looking towards a handmade Christmas. I think everyone, before people, like when you did a handmade Christmas in the 2000s and 2010s, like people kind of thought you were cheap, and now it's like people appreciate the value of something handmade given to them. I think not for everybody, but some people, especially the people that I know, I think there's like a new appreciation of like how much time things cost to make, like with your time. And I think there's just a different appreciation. So I would highly recommend this as a great gift making option, or even a craft fair option, because I think that you could sell this all year round. It wouldn't be seasonal. So yes, I very much like it. I personally had to take out about 5 or 6 rows, and it's easy to customize. You could easily, she tells you in the pattern how to make it wider or longer or whatever. This was great. So I very much enjoyed it. And again, very cost effective. The Liesel Book Bag by Valkyrie Creates on Instagram. Again, that was super easy and simple to make too, and it was great beginner friendly. You don't have to know a ton about crochet to be able to make that. Let's see. The next thing I made, this is what caused me to have a break. And I haven't made a video on this, so I'm not going to talk too much about it because I'm going to be talking a lot in my video. I have a lot of opinions and a lot of things to say. However, I'm extremely happy. I made the bass that I had discussed. So here it is. All of my thoughts on this will be put in my video, but I did create my bass. I gave it to my husband. My husband was thrilled, to say the least. It is a largemouth bass. It is worth the money to buy the pattern. There is a ton of knowledge in the pattern. My kids love this. What I will say is, you know, currently it's a one of a kind for me. I don't see myself making another one because it is so labor intensive. However, maybe once I'm a little bit removed I will feel the need to want to make this and have more because we are such a fishing family. So my kids just love picking it up and like holding it like you would lip a fish. And I actually caught a largemouth bass recently, like 2 days ago, when we put it in our pond, and it was the first bass that I caught in Oklahoma. I was so happy. So, and like I caught the whole thing. I had like done the whole fishing line myself. I cast it, reeled it in, lipped it, and then my husband put it on the stringer for me just because he had the stringer. So yeah, he's super thrilled to have this. I might be making more in the future, but for right now, it's just a little bit too soon. And again, I will go into full details on this pattern, and you're not going to want to miss it because it's going to be a treasure trove of information that I think you will find very interesting on how this is made, because I found this whole process to be extremely interesting. But because there were so many things that I had never done before, it probably took me 8 hours at minimum to make this. And so that was a lot of time to be invested in this, and it cost a lot of money considering how much yarn I bought to have the effect that I wanted to have visually. Did I have to buy all the yarn that I did? No, I didn't have to. I chose to. However, it was worth it, absolutely. And it even like swishes to the side. Can you see that? So yeah, this will be its own video. But here is the largemouth bass that I am incredibly proud of. Incredibly proud of. This is the most complicated thing I have crocheted to date. This little largemouth bass. Very happy. So can't wait to make this video. I'm just waiting. I need to do the voiceover. I need to just sit down and like review my thoughts. And I have some footage that I want of my husband to take it to make it a pretty fun video. Yeah, here you go. Pretty cool. And this, so who is this by? This is the Bass Amigurumi pattern. It's a paid for pattern by ARSerendipity Designs. The pattern is called the Largemouth Bass No Sew Amigurumi Crochet Pattern. So pretty great. I'm quite proud of this little dude. Yeah. So again, more to come on that. You know, that would have been a good idea if I had started like stacking what I made in the background. Maybe I should start doing that. That's a good idea. What a happy little collection of things. Okay, the last thing, I guess this video is not going to be that long. The last thing that I have to share with you is not a finish. It's a work in progress that I just started and actually is pretty cool. This pattern is, what is it, Brie? It's the only thing I didn't finish from what I'm crocheting now. It's the chicken snuggle pattern that I purchased from Mama Made Minis on Etsy. The pattern was $12. It's a paid for pattern, and it's called the Big and Little Chickie Chicken. And this is where I'm at so far. Again, first time I'm using this yarn. The pattern calls for a size 7 and 8mm crochet hook. I didn't realize that when I sat down. I thought that I had all the crochet hook sizes. I didn't realize there was a size 7mm crochet hook out there. And I couldn't find my 8mm crochet hook. Like, I know somewhere I have a size L 8mm crochet hook. I don't know where that is. And I've never heard of a size 7mm crochet hook. And so my husband was like, well, why don't you just modify it? Your gauge isn't normal anyway. So I started making it with a size 6 and 6.5, like a size J and K hook. And it was way too tight, especially having not ever used this type of yarn before. I couldn't see what I was doing. So then I ripped it out, and then I started crocheting with a size 9mm and 10mm crochet hook, because you do the 9mm for the head and then the 10 for the body. And it's big, and I'm actually like super stoked on it. But then I thought, okay, so I'm crocheting this now. I want to get this done because it works up pretty quick. I did this in like an hour and a half, even with all my rip outs. So then I was curious. So when I went to Hobby Lobby, I looked up to see if they had the size 7 and the size 8. And they did not have the size 7mm crochet hook. They had 8mm crochet hooks, but they didn't even have like a slot for a 7mm crochet hook. And like I said, I never even heard of that size before. So I thought, huh. And then I went to Walmart yesterday, and same thing. They had the 8mm crochet hooks. They didn't even have a slot for a 7mm crochet hook. And I thought, well, maybe this isn't as common. Like, I never heard of it before. Maybe it's not really common. And I'd seen it on Amazon. Was that the only place that I could find it? So then I just quickly put up a reel, you know, like asking if anybody else had heard of a size 7mm crochet hook. And the crochet community came out. And I was awesome. So many people were like, yes, they have like 6 of them. And I'm like, where have I been? I'm old school. Like, I don't feel like I'm that old, but sometimes like now when I do some things like this, like my age kind of starts to hit and play. Like, I'm in my early 30s and I've been crocheting for 10 years. And I've crocheted in fingering weight yarn, sport weight yarn, cotton yarn, worsted weight yarn, bulky yarn. But like all of those bulky weight patterns were made using a 9mm or 10mm hook, like the size N or the size P. And like I've said, there has been this whole world of this blanket stuffies for the last couple of years that I haven't even dabbled in. Like, I've done a ton of amigurumi that call for sport weight to worsted weight yarn, and acrylic yarns. Apparently, the size L is very popular in the blanket stuffy community, and there were some like OG people that were like, yeah, no, it's a weird size, because like there's the K that's a 6.5mm, and then there's the, no, that's not right. Yes, the K that's a 6.5mm, and then the L, which is an 8mm. Like, there's no letter for the middle because the 7mm is not a normal size, but it is the right size. I am going to finish this using the 9mm and 10mm, and then I'm going to redo it using the size 7 and 8 and do a size comparison of the two, because gauge matters, size matters. And you know what I mean? And so what's cool about this is I'm actually like super duper excited, because this is going to be like a big chicken and then there's a little chicken. And so when I gift this to our person that's close to the family that's having the baby, they're going to get this super fun gift, because it's going to be like this ridiculously big handmade crochet chicken. And then there's going to be this little bit of chicken. Well, it's going to be like, you know, normal size chicken that the baby can then carry with it. Because again, because I'm making it, it's going to be carried everywhere. I'm just joking, right? I'm only egotistical to a degree. And so, yeah, so it's going to be really fun. So I actually cannot wait. Like, I was already excited to make this pattern, but now I can't wait to make that video about like the size difference and the crochet hook. I mean, there's like 56 comments on that reel. And it's one of those reels where you just like throw up there and then you don't expect anybody to see it. And then it's like, bam, that did well for me. So I'm very happy. And look, it looks so funny because it doesn't have its comb on the top. Anyway, so I'm doing this big chicken in white, and then the little chicken's going to be in gray. And this is the yarn from Hobby Lobby. It is the Yarn Bee Cozy Occasion. And so the white chicken is in ivory. And they have like white, but I'm using ivory. And to see the other colors, if you can't wait, then you can go watch the What Am I Crocheting video. I share all those there. And again, in my video, once I'm done with everything and I review it, it'll be up here with all the details. So that is everything I crocheted in May, which was pretty phenomenal, because I've also done some stitching. We've done a lot of fishing. I've had like this new like refound love affair with cooking and baking and stuff like that. So I have had just the best time in May. I hope that you guys have had a really good time crocheting too. Would you guys be interested in seeing like what my plans are crochet wise for June? Because I think I would like to make that video. I'm having a ton of fun. I'm kind of setting this up like booktube, where you have like what did you read, and like what I read, and like your to be made, and I'm having a ton of fun doing that, and it's keeping me really accountable. And I like reviewing what I did accomplish in a certain amount of time, because I think as makers sometimes we're just like we just zoom it out and we don't really reflect sometimes on like how much we're actually doing, especially when like what we're doing, if it's in our free time, in our downtime, or if we like certain projects we actively put in all of our time, like that bass. So please comment down below too, like what was your favorite thing that you saw me make in this video, and if I have crocheted something that has spurred you to try, let me know. I'd love to know. And I'm super enjoying getting to know people in the crochet community better than I ever have. This has been so much fun. I'm glad that I'm venturing further into the crochet community. I've put up floss do videos, which I'm starting to do again. So if you like to cross stitch, I've got those videos too. And my channel is pretty much cross stitch and crochet, which makes me so happy. I'm just going full force into it, and I'm having the time of my life. So thanks again for watching, you guys. I'll see you guys really soon. I'll see you guys in the next project and in the next video. Bye!